always remember that I made the man that you love and want to be with, girl. Your son ain't shit. You know he still pee the bed.
Mama checked the time again. Now Vanessa was 50 minutes late. The unmitigated gall. She wanted to wring the girl's neck sometimes. No, most of the time. But as much as she disliked the uppity little hussy, Mama had to count her blessings because Vanessa had turned her into a grandmama. Mama called her grandson PJ, as in Pedro Jackson, just to spite Vanessa and remind her that Jackson might not be her last name, but it was the name of her half-black son, and it would be the surname of Miss De La Cruz's grandkids one day too. And Mama had to admit that the marriage had a calming effect on Alonzo. He still wasn't doing much at the company, but he'd stopped carousing and getting into bar brawls. He loved being a father and was much better at parenting than Vanessa ever cared to be. But he let his mujer punk his ass on the regular. Whatever Vanessa wanted, Vanessa got. Women, that was a weak spot for both of her sons. Alonzo had already made his bed, but she could still keep Lamont from getting pickpocketed. Although he was a prime target for all these money-hungry harlots, Lamont wasn't a sucker for a pretty face like Alonzo. Attaboy. Mama would think whenever he dumped some dime a dozen bimbo who was trying to muscle in on the massive bank account that was supporting the Jackson family. Pause. Why don't the mama just crawl into bed with her son and do the hoochie coochie with him? All this says to me is that mama just want to make sure that the money stay in the family. We don't want a bimbo to come along and decrease the family wealth. If the bimbo can't add to the family wealth, what is she here for? Because we think this mama is actually Mama Combs, because we know that she just loves her son. She loves that ninja. Among all the here today, gone tomorrow women Lamont had taken up with, Kendra Truesdale had been a real contender. A well-mannered girl from a middle-class family in Florida. Kendra was the ideal mate for her darling son. Lots of women knew how to make pleasant conversation, but the true gift was knowing when to shut up. Kendra was gifted that way. And unlike so many of these gals today, she wasn't so obsessed with his career as to lose sight of what was truly important, Lamont's happiness. What is most important is not Lamont's happiness, it's your own happiness. Child, you'll wake up one day and realize you done spent 10 years of your life trying to make somebody else happy. And at the end of the 10 years, you're left broken, miserable, depressed, and I said broken, but broke. Trying to make somebody else happy. No, man. Most important, Kendra paid Mama the respect she felt was her due as the matriarch of the Jackson Empire. Girl, I hate you. Girl, you mothers that be, I hate you bitches. I hate you bitches. That's all it's about. It's about kissing my ass as the mother. I don't care how many cars you drive. I don't care how wealthy your family is. I don't care if you're half black or half white or half this or half that. I don't care if your skin is supple like a dewy morning in the summer breeze. You must bow down to me. Yes, his previously crack-smoking ass mama. Always remember that I made the man that you love and want to be with, girl.
Your son ain't shit. Do you know he's still Peter bad?
Her parents had come to visit a few times when Lamont and Kendra were an item. Boring, small town people, but they were decent and Mama liked them. She felt a bit sorry for Harold and Pat Truesdale because they seemed to have the false impression that Kendra was a big-time model actress when Mama had never seen her in a damn thing except for some rap videos. But she was trying. Mama really thought Lamont had found the one until he unceremoniously dumped the poor girl. When Mama asked why, he'd cryptically responded, "Never can tell."
That's because he trying to fuck his mama. That's why. That's what he want, his mama.
Kendra came to Mama for advice on getting him back soon afterward. She broke down in tortured sobs and Mama's heart went out to her. Lamont was such a stellar catch that the pain of having him slip through her fingers must have been unbearable.
Fuck him.
Mama told her absence makes the heart grow fonder, sweetheart. Don't call him, let him miss you. Sound advice, or so Mama thought. But after a month, Lamont didn't seem to be missing Kendra at all. She decided to ask Kendra to lunch. They were meeting today at Cipriani, Mama's favorite restaurant. She took a last sip of tea, carefully placed her teacup back on its saucer, and rose from her chair. As for no-show Vanessa, when that money vacuuming drug fiend crawled out of her hole, she was going to get the tongue lashing of a lifetime. And Bernetta Lee Jackson was going to love every minute of it. See, that's the thing. You see how it is? The one she don't like is the one that don't kiss her ass. Oh, that's why I don't like her. She's no good for my son. No, she doesn't kiss your ass. The one that kisses her ass, oh, that's her best friend. Why couldn't my son have married her? Like she had just rung up a bottle of shampoo at Rite Aid, the woman behind the register at Scoop said matter-of-factly, "That will be $7,275. Mimi gasped audibly. Vanessa didn't blink. She slapped Lamont's black Amex onto the counter with authority. You had to be a big spender to get an Amex Centurion card. It was invitation only, a leap up from platinum. For Mimi's style makeover, the ladies had carte blanche for one day only. Vanessa had been acting like a contestant on Supermarket Sweep, racking up as much as she could for Mimi and herself in the allotted time. Per Imani's instructions, Mimi had shown up at Vanessa's Soho apartment at 11 this morning. She was shown in by a meek, broken English-speaking woman who was holding the hand of the most adorable boy she'd ever seen. "Miss Vanessa, come soon," the woman told her. Mimi had assumed Lamont's sister-in-law would be black. From the looks of her son, probably not. The boy whom the nanny called Pedro grabbed at Mimi's hand as if he were desperate for a playmate and led her to his room. I know you been lying. Danger.
Girl, you talk about abuse. We don't know that nigga or nigga. We don't know her. Don't grab her hand. We don't know if she's some kind of predator. No. Answer no. 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 I know he in his comfort zone, but that tells me a lot that little boy is comfortable with a stranger.
There was a floor-to-ceiling Lion King mural painted around all four walls. Mimi didn't mind the wait because she and cute little Pedro crawled all over the rug playing with his truckload of toys. Over an hour later, Vanessa slunk into the room in an oddly glamorous look that answered the question that the average woman asked herself when flipping through Vogue. Who would buy these outrageously priced clothes and put them together in this way? And where would they go looking like that? Vanessa de la Cruz would. To go on a wild shopping spree with her rich brother-in-law's credit card. That's who. It was a mild March day, so Mimi, wearing jeans and Pumas, was perplexed as to why Vanessa was rocking her fall look. On her feet were what looked like Timberland work boots, but they had skinny wooden heels and pointy toes. Remember when Timberland collaborated with Manolo Blahnik? Do y'all remember that? Girl, everybody and their mammy wanted a pair of them Timberland / Manolo Blahniks. Them mother hoochies was amazing. But at the time, my feet was not eligible for that type of shoe. Heels is in my past. Hey, back there. Heels, high heels over there. I can't do it no more. I'm so happy that kitten heels coming back in style, girl. But the only thing about kitten heels is they make your feet look super long. But I'm happy they back because I can't do it no more, y'all. Now 3.5 be killing me, girl. I remember my auntie told me that too. She said, oh, y'all wearing these heels. You ain't going to be able to wear them heels after a while, baby. The while is here. On her feet were what looked like Timberland work boots, but they had skinny wooden heels and pony toes. And they were pink. Brown corduroys hung low from her narrow waist, and the shrunken hot pink turtleneck exposed her supple stomach. Yep, that sounds like the early 2000s. It was cute. It was the time of the apple bottom. She had a Gucci bucket hat sitting high on her head like she didn't want to mess up her hair, and dark tinted goggle-sized glasses covering half her face. I'm ready was Vanessa's greeting. Pedro ran up to her for a hug, but she just patted him on the head instead. Mimi couldn't really get a good look at her with the glasses and the hat, but there was something familiar about her. As they headed down to the Ford Expedition Imani had ordered for them, Vanessa grabbed a short olive green bomber jacket with fur trim and an enormous apple green purse.
The 2000s.
After settling in, Vanessa removed her shades and hat. Mimi recognized her instantly. It was Vanessa de la Cruz, the model. Mimi had seen her in so many magazines. She was Lamont's sister-in-law. Wow, she gushed. I didn't recognize you at first. Everyone just said, Vanessa, Lamont's sister-in-law. I didn't know they meant you. Lamont's sister-in-law, Vanessa repeated, offended at the secondary billing. I always thought you were so gorgeous, Mimi said unabashedly. Thought? Vanessa begged her pardon. Or think. Yeah, oh yeah, I think you're gorgeous, Mimi corrected herself. Seriously, this is so exciting, isn't it? Vanessa agreed, taking a liking to Lamont's new artist instantly. Mimi wasn't sure she could emulate Vanessa's casual, chic style, but she wanted to. When Mimi asked where she'd gotten all the things she was wearing, Vanessa was happy to oblige with a rundown. Manolo knew it. I remember I first seen him on J-Lo and A. Marie. Said, gotta have him. Until I looked at him in person one day at Neiman Marcus and I seen how high them heels was and how pointy that shoe was. Oh my God. I think they was probably just about $750 then. You know, now, girl, they done added $300 to everything. Manolo, she said, pointing to the boots, almost impossibly to get, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, and then everybody got them. Pants are Cataillon, jacket by Marc Jacobs, sunglasses, Christian Dior. This sweater I got, where? Oh, someone sent me this. I forgot who. The bag, she said, stroking it more affectionately than she had Pedro. is an Hermes Birkin, and the hat is ... Gucci, Mimi answered. It had logos all over it. She had never heard of any of those other designers except for Christian Dior, and she didn't know he made sunglasses. I love your look. I want to get stuff like that, Mimi bubbled, without any real understanding of how much stuff like that cost. Vanessa smiled appreciatively. De nada, Lamont said to hook you up from head to toe. Mimi had wondered if the saleswoman at Barney's, where they had gone first, was going to accept a credit card from a Spanish woman who was probably not named Lamont Jackson. But it hadn't been a problem, not at Barney's. Many of the salespeople knew Vanessa and appeared to be almost salivating when they saw her coming. They were helpful and she was snippy, but they all seemed to be thrilled just to be in her presence. Vanessa hadn't once looked at a price tag. Mimi had tried on a suede coat at Prada and couldn't find the price tag, so she asked Vanessa in a whisper so the snooty, hovering saleswoman wouldn't hear. How much is this? Vanessa very loudly replied, we can afford it. At the other store, she had puttered around looking at things while Vanessa settled the bills. She hadn't realized just how much they were spending until this shocking revelation at Scoop. She felt like putting some of the things back. God, that was a lot of money. Mimi was kicking herself by spending some of her own advance money at Urban Outfitters. But how was she to know Lamont was going to buy her everything she could ever want? Jeans, coats, boots, sneakers, underwear, bags, headscarves, sunglasses, skirts, casual dresses, dressy dresses, socks. Some of this stuff was very sexy. Other things she just didn't consider her style. But Vanessa kept saying, it's a must-have. Lamont was buying her all this stuff and Vanessa approved, so who was she to argue? All I know is this girl gonna have to pay somehow. Either she gonna have to pay in record sales or vagina. That's all I know. They walked out of Scoop and Vanessa bumped into a friend heading in. Hey, Nessa, the pretty woman said sweetly, and Vanessa greeted her in an equally pleasant tone. Kendra, this is Mimi, Vanessa said proudly, showing off her beautiful young charge. She's just been signed by Lamont. Kendra was pushing 30 and looked it. She was the kind of woman everyone considered pretty until an exceptionally beautiful woman, someone like Vanessa de la Cruz, walked into the room and made her pale in comparison. Needless to say, running into Kendra made Vanessa feel just fabulous. You're a rapper? Kendra asked, looking Mimi up and down. No, I sing, Mimi said politely, ignoring the woman's head-to-toe evaluation. Really? Kendra said, processing this information. Lamont is handling singers now? She's the first, Vanessa confided. Branching out and all that. I just had lunch with Mama Jackson, Kendra volunteered, letting Vanessa know she was still somewhat in the mix. Were you supposed to meet her today? She knew the answer to that. Mama had bitched about it extensively. Remember, Kendra Truesdale was the girl that, is a model girl, according to Mama, a video girl that her son Lamont was dating, but Lamont dumped her. Was I? Vanessa asked without concern. She had completely forgotten. I see you two really went crazy today, Kendra noted anxiously, watching the salesman carrying bag after bag out to the car. Yes, Vanessa sighed. We've been everywhere. So tired. Must dash. She air-kissed Kendra and hopped into the car. Mimi obediently followed. forcing a smile at Kendra, who didn't return the favor. Kendra Truesdale absent-mindedly pushed clothes along the racks, annoyed by this unexpected encounter. Lamont's new singer looked very young. She had to be at least 10 years younger than Kendra. 18, and she was pretty. Beautiful, really. Just the kind of girl Lamont would like. Kendra hated her already. The fuck you mad for? Bitch, you got other problems, other worries.